Is my screen visible to all?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yes, please.
Okay. 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 Good evening, everybody. My name is A.S. Kumar Batta. I am currently a cybersecurity officer under Gurugram Cyber Police, and I'm also a student just like yourself. Apart from that, I have been interested in cybersecurity and artificial intelligence since about 7, 8 years and been working in the same field. So let's start. Today I will be conducting a session on cybersecurity and mainly into forensics. So the title of today's session is going to be Behind the Screen, Cybersecurity and You. And I have written a subquote just below it, that is cybercrime is a state subject. You'll be able to understand what this directly means as we proceed further. Just a small disclaimer that the information and the case study that are presented to you is only and only for educational purposes. Some of the details here are extremely real and may not be shared with anybody. This is just a disclaimer so that nothing controversial takes place, like screenshots or whatever. Okay. So before starting, I have a very small video on cybersecurity for everybody. Just mute myself.
And this is how every minute we are creating tons of digital footprints. Cybercrime is everywhere now, so I don't need to emphasize on this. And recent reports which I read in the newspaper said that every 10 minutes one cybercrime is happening in my country. Right now I'm saying 10 minutes one cybercrime. After 1 year I'll say 1 minute one cybercrime. That I want an empowered society in cybersecurity, and for that the young engineers or software engineers and computer engineers need to be empowered and trained into these three facets of cybersecurity: attack, defense and response. So with the last message very clear, that be safe online. Virtual world is not a game, it's your life.
So this was just a small informative video for you all. So this is just to say that cybersecurity is a field where everybody needs to tread very, I won't say slowly, I would just say very carefully, because everything can be tracked and is being tracked. And also you don't know what else the other might be going out for you. Okay. Then we have a quote. This quote is by Pammy Olson. She's a world-renowned cybersecurity expert, and once in a conference, she said that words whispered in the physical world travel a few feet, but words whispered in the digital world travel forever. This is just basically upon what I just told you, that even if you delete a message on WhatsApp, somewhere on the internet, it is present, and that can be tracked until the internet is present in the world. Some or the other backup that you take voluntarily through Google Drive or through any other format is subject to other backups which are stored on the internet globally. So let's start first with Locard's principle. So Locard's principle, so what does it mean? Locard's exchange principle was basically formulated by Dr. Edmund Locard in early 1900s. He was a French forensic scientist and was often called the Sherlock Holmes of France. And this principle states that every contact leaves a trace, specifically when two objects, here we are talking about for a person or an environment, come into contact, there is an exchange of material between them. This principle is foundational to forensic science and asserts that a perpetrator will both leave something at a crime scene and take something away from it, which can be used as evidence later on. So the main core idea behind it is that the principle is often summarized as, with contact between two items, there will be an exchange. This exchange can involve physical evidence, that is, fingerprints or hair or fibers, which may contain your DNA and all, or in modern contexts, digital evidence such as logs, metadata, or malware traces. This concept is critical for linking suspects to crime scenes, victims, or objects through trace evidences. So, how is Locard's exchange principle mainly used in cybersecurity? In cybersecurity, Locard's exchange principle is adapted to digital forensics mainly, where it applies to interactions with digital environments. Just as physical contact leaves traces, digital interactions, such as a hacker accessing a system, a user visiting a website, or malware executing on a device, leaves digital footprints. These traces can be used to reconstruct events, identify perpetrators, or detect malicious activities. So, when I talk about digital footprints, I basically mean, in a layman's term, a much easier way to understand it is that every activity that we do on a digital device is being traced or being conducted with a hash value. That's why some of you may have heard some other people talking about hash values in a system, in an operating system. If anybody is studying computer science here, so hash values is basically just like zeros and ones in binary. So in an operating system, they mainly talk about hash values as a whole of each item stored in an object. I also have a real world example on based on Locker's exchange principle for you all. So in 2013, there was a targeted data breach. Attackers used stolen credentials to access the network, leaving traces in the form of malware. The name of the malware was Black POS, on point of sale systems and log of data exfiltration. Forensic investigators then used these traces to identify the vector, which was a compromised vendor, and reconstructed the breach again while aligning with Lockhart's principle that the attacker both left evidences which in this case were malware and logs, and then took the data, which was credit card data information. Okay. Does anybody have any questions regarding this? Should I proceed further?
Guys, please feel free to ask any question that you may have.
Because okay,
Yes, Sejal.
Sejal, you have a question here.
Hello, could you please explain hash values again?
Sure. So hash values is basically in binary, as you have zeros and ones for very, very basic programming languages. Every action that takes place on a device or a digital device is being conducted with a hash value. So every letter that you type, every action that you take, like if you send a image through WhatsApp to somebody on a laptop, it is being sent through a chain of hash values.
Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? Any other questions? I'm just asking if anybody has questions, because I will be going into more depth, and if you have questions in these parts, I think you won't be able to understand it further on. So I just want this to be a very good experience for everybody. That's why I'm just wanting to make sure. Nobody has any more questions? Okay. So then we move on to basically what is cybersecurity and what are its contents. Okay. So cybersecurity, as its definition undergoes, is the practice of protecting systems, networks, devices, programs, and most importantly, data from unauthorized access, attacks, damage, or disruption. It mainly encompasses technologies, processes, policies, and human practices designed to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which in the modern area is known as CIA triad of digital assets in an increasingly interconnected world. So the CIA triad that I just talked to you about is a short form. So C here represents confidentiality. Confidentiality basically means ensuring data is accessible only to authorized parties. Example, encryption protects or sensitive information. Like we have encryption, like recently WhatsApp introduced a 64 to 64-bit encryption through which you have to create your own passcode, and you will only be able to store your backed up data when you put in that encryption. I think so it's a 64 letter phrase that you need to store, and that can't be reused like or forget it. So if you forget that and you don't write it elsewhere, you won't be able to store your backed up data of WhatsApp if you have turned on that encryption option in your mobile. Then I here stands for integrity. Integrity basically means maintaining the accuracy and trustworthiness of data, that is preventing tampering with databases. So in today's world, most of our lives, I would expect most of your lives as well, would be on social devices, or let's say Instagram, let's say Facebook, or WhatsApp, or Google. Everything, every bit of data mostly is stored on the cloud, which is stored in data servers and other databases. And therefore, data storage and prevention from data tampering is very, very necessary. So who all have seen the Mission Impossible movie here, the latest one? So the Mission Impossible movie here, the latest one that just released recently, talks about this case only, about AI and how data is used to corrupt governments and all. And the I and the A in CIA triad stands for availability. It basically means that ensuring systems and data are accessible to authorized users when needed, which basically means that defending against denial of service attacks. That when you want to access your data in any form, let's say you have the credential, you are the authorized person, you should not get such redundancies that you're not able to access the data, or the data is taking too long to be able to access. Okay, so what is basically the importance of cybersecurity? So with the rise of digital transformation, that is cloud computing, IoT, that is Internet of Things, and remote work, basically, as we had seen in the previous years during COVID, cyber threats have grown in scale and sophistication. In 2024, the global cost of cybercrime was estimated at about $9.2 trillion annually, which to just estimate, $1 billion is around, in today's date, is around 8,600 crores in rupees. So the estimated value was $9.2 trillion, and in a trillion there are 1,000 billion dollars. So which basically means that cybersecurity ventures will be at a very, very secure stance. And in today's date, we are able to see two organizations which mainly work in this area. First is Oracle, and the second one is Red Hat. Windows, Mac OS, or Android, or any other operating system that you'd use in your general daily life would use either of these organizations' antivirus. Like I think so, like 5-6 months ago, there was a error in Windows for 24 hours or something, where one employee of a third-party antivirus manager had pushed an update into the code which had corrupted the antivirus, and due to that, Windows laptops were getting shut down, and that person was a part of Oracle. So basically, Windows as well, if you would see for its own Defender or Windows Defender that you'd use, is contacting only and only Oracle for that. So Oracle from the starting has been into this domain only. After which I'd continue. So then the estimated cost of cybercrime in 2024 was around $9.2 trillion, underscoring the need for robust cybersecurity measures. Breaches like the 2023 Move It attack, which exposed millions of records, highlight the real world stakes here. And when we talk about cybersecurity, there are about 5 to 7 domains in which it is divided. Like when we talk about AI, we talk about deep learning, we talk about machine learning. Yeah, we talk about hardware and software together. So in cybersecurity, such as this, we have forensics, we have cyber law, just like we have corporate law and intellectual property law, right? We have cyber law, we have threat intelligence and risk compliance, we have dark web analysis, and 2 3 more. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about forensics and forensics only, because I had requested this session to be a little longer, but I was told that you guys only have this much time. So our session would be a little smaller, I'd say, in terms of context. There will be no problem in the context that I provide you with. Okay. Then here we're looking at the number of cyber frauds in 2024. I think this image got problemed or something. It is not providing the whole thing. So we'll just look at the graphs of 23 and 24 here. In 23, the graphs was around 2 lakh. In 2018, if we say, was around 250,000 or 2.5 lakh only. While in 2024, it rose to 2.5 lakh. So the number of increasing cyber frauds in India is very, very fast. The rate is very, very fast. As I know that previously last year, on an average, just in Gurugram, which is a very small city of the whole India, received about 7,500 cybersecurity complaints each day. It can be amongst the following categories that we're going to look about now. So in cybersecurity, most of the frauds that are conducted in India are a part of financial frauds, which contain about 85% of cyber frauds conducted in India. I think you must have watched that series, right? Jamtara. It talks about that only, how financial frauds are conducted and scams are conducted. And then we have phishing and social engineering, data breaches and identity theft, which are very small, about 2 to 3% only. And CSAM, which is child sexual abuse material. Like you have bullying, right? Cyberbullying. And then you have mainly cyberbullying and harassment, which has been increasing year on year as we proceed with our generations. If you look about 5 years ago, cyberbullying and harassment were very, very low. Most of it was only and only financial frauds. CSAM and cyberbullying were very low. But as the generation has been proceeding in schools or in colleges, and just a second, and or in colleges, we are seeing more and more of these cases every day. Yes, Sangeeta ji, yes.
Bhaiya, why cyber fraud are increasing?
Why are cyber fraud increasing?
Yes, please.
Okay, so first of all, some people think that doing cyber fraud is very, very easy. It's basically the thing that cyber fraud will get them easy money. They won't have to work too hard for it. I recommend each and everybody who should watch the series Jamtara. They talk about this they talk about this very, very detailed. It's on Netflix. It's a really good series. So basically, cyber frauds are increasing because people every day, more and more people are using the internet. They're using WhatsApp, they're using mobiles, they have a network, they have a 4G network, they have a 5G network, they have a smartphone, or they have a laptop, which basically allows them to connect to the internet as a whole, where data can be exchanged. And so other things can also be exchanged that are malware and viruses. So people who think that easy money can be obtained often do cyber frauds. And there are also organizations such as Anonymous and mainly Anonymous only, which is a very big organization. If I just close my video here, my icon also is the icon of Anonymous. If everybody is able to see. So Anonymous is an organization, a global organization, which works upon cybersecurity and hacking only. While we discuss about hacking, there are three types of hacking: black hat hacking, gray hat hacking, and white hat hacking. Who conduct hacking as only and only illegal activities, they are known as black hat hackers. Who conduct hacking as a part of ethical movement as well as illegal will be known as a gray hat hacker. And who works only and only based upon cyber ethics, such as our police force and our military force in cyber security, we would call them as white hat hackers. White hat hackers usually work upon catching black hat hackers only. Is your doubt solved, Sangeetaji? Let's start with forensics. We're mainly now here on the main topic. Okay. I'll just take a second to drink some water, then we'll start. Okay. So today we're going to talk about some topics in forensics. We have steganography, metadata analysis, TDR analysis. I think so somebody's mic is unmute.
Ayesha, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I think Sanjana is having some questions. Sanjana, do you wanna
Sure,
say?
sure. Okay, okay.
Yes, please. What is white hat hacking? I not understand.
Okay, sure. I'll repeat. White hat hacking. Did you understand what is black hat and gray hat hacking?
Yes, please.
Should I repeat for you?
Yes,
All
please.
three? Sure, okay. I'll do it again. Black hat hacking is somebody who conducts hacking activities illegally, which is basically doing frauds or scams or hacking organizations and governments, or in some cases, banks as well, the whole bank, the whole server. And we have gray hat hackers who conduct both illegal as well as ethical hacking practices. Okay, they may be part of a government or or a hacking community such as Anonymous or something else. And the most which we say is the good part of hacking people do are white hat hackers. They are 99% or 100% a part of our police force or the military force, and their only role is to catch black hat hackers or prevent such hacking activities from taking place.
Okay. So white hat hackers and ethical hacking is both are same, right?
Yes, white hat hackers are those who conduct ethical hacking.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else has a doubt? I'm open to any doubt. You can share any doubt with me. I'm just repeating any doubts.
I think we can move on with the presentation.
Sure. So in forensics today, we're going to be covering some topics which are steganography, metadata analysis, TDR analysis, as we call tower dump record analysis. Then we have CDR analysis or IPDR analysis. CDR basically means call data record analysis. Then we have VoIP, that is voice over internet protocol. Then we have trunk group servers and session intercept protocols. The last three will be mainly part of case studies if you are able to get there, because time is a little short. Okay, let's start with steganography first, or basically what is forensics first. So forensics, as it proceeds, is involves identification, collection, preservation, analysis, and presentation of digital evidence from electronic devices, networks, or systems to investigate cyber crimes or such incidents. Its key purpose is to reconstruct cyber incidents, identity perpetrators, and provide evidence admissible in court. It is used in cases such as data breaches, fraud, or intellectual property theft. I'm sure you must know what these some examples, something. Okay, so some key activities that are performed in forensics are: first is evidence collection, which basically means that capturing volatile data such as RAM contents, or imaging hard drives using tools like FTK imagers or anything else. We have separate softwares also for that. Then there is analysis. That means examining file of logs and metadata or malware to reconstruct attack timelines, which, for examples, analyzing WannaCry ransoms artifacts. WannaCry was a ransom which was very harsh on organizations, and it had severe effects. And the organization behind it had asked for a very high amount of ransom, and the bank was basically a part of a government, and so the case was very long here. Then we have chain of custody, which means ensuring evidence integrity for legal proceedings. That means that the evidence should prevent from any further damaging or any type of editing after it has been in the custody of the police or the force that was used here. So the evidence that is obtained at the scene of crime cannot be ever changed, and if it is ever changed, and there is even a single ounce of evidence found that was changed, it is not admissible in court and it stays of no value. Then we have at last reporting. That means presenting findings in a clear and defensible manner. And forensics, while seeming too good, also presents us with some challenges. Some of this is volatile evidence, that is memory data. Like if you have a bomb blast that may be conducted due to terrorist activities, and you find a mobile there that may belong to a terrorist, to extract data from that device will be very hard, because that phone has been a part of a bomb blast. It may be a part, it may have had effects of fire or heat, or may have even got burnt. And even burnt memory drives can be used to extract data, but it is very volatile to extract data from them. And then we have encryption challenges, because in many cases, some of these burner phones or phones that were used in previous times, which had like 1G and 2G internet, and were just like broken after use, were having very high quality encryption, which took large amounts of time to crack. Then we have anti-forensic techniques such as log wiping. So when we talk about forensics, we also talk about logs. Everything that you do, even if you play a game, let's say Call of Duty or PUBG, it will store a log on your mobile. You won't be able to see it directly in your storage, but underneath the storage, there is logs of everything that you do, every message that you send, every search, Google search, anonymous search, online search that you conduct, and all of this can be used in any cases. And it can be erased, but it is said that don't erase it until you're in a problem, because they also work like cookies. I'm sure you know about cookies in the internet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then we'll move on to parts of cybersecurity, where we have first is steganography. So what does steganography mean? Steganography is the practice of hiding information with a seemingly innocuous medium, that means an image or an audio file or a text, to conceal the existence of data itself. This steganography is derived from Greek words steganogros, that means covered, and graphene, that is writing. So that means covered writing. Steganography literally means covered writing. In cybersecurity, it's used to covertly transmit sensitive data, evade detection, or in malicious contexts, facilitate cyber attacks by hiding malicious payloads. Unlike cryptography, which scrambles data to make it unreadable without a key, but leaves the existence of the data visible in any form, steganography hides the fact that data exists at all. For example, a message encrypted with AES source is visibly scrambled. That you can see it is scrambled and it is like an encryption. We can break it if we have to. But a message hidden in an image's pixels appears as a normal image to the untrained eye. So let's say some unknown guy sent you an image on WhatsApp. It may be a virus as well, because you can add a code file or a program file to that image using a simple software. And when you click on that image, that file would run executing whatever program was written in it. So what is the key principle behind steganography? So steganography relies, yes, yes, yes.
So Bhaiya, I have a question that what is cryptography? Can you explain that a little?
Sure. Cryptography basically means, have you ever done puzzles? Puzzles.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So a cryptography is basically, for in the most layman's term, it is creating puzzles in form of code so that there is data hidden underneath it, which creates an encryption on the data while making it seem as the data is visible itself. The data may seem visible, but there is thousands and thousands of layers of code between that, which makes it harder and harder to reach as the amounts of data, as the amounts of code and the protection layers increase. This basic concept is used on developing blockchain technologies, the algorithm that is used in developing blockchain. Yes, Sanjana.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, Sanjana ji.
Uh, so that in WhatsApp end-to-end data encryption, it is example of cryptography.
Yes, we can say it is an example of cryptography, but just here it depends solely in WhatsApp, depends upon the phrase that you wrote as a password, the 64-digit phrase that you wrote, and the algorithm is automatically created based on the phrase that you wrote. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So what is the key principle behind steganography? So steganography relies on embedding secret data, that is the payload, into a carrier or a cover medium, which in most cases is an image, audio, or a video file, in a way that is imperceptible to casual observers, that are you people or civilians or some people who just want to live normal lives and are not at all into cybersecurity, while preserving the medium's functionality and appearance. So some file which may have been steganographed would look exactly the same that it was before being steganographed. Let's just say an image of a tiger. You add a code to it. It will still look like the same image of a tiger, even without changing a single pixel of data. So the main goal is to maintain steganalysis resistance, which means that the hidden data is difficult to detect even with specialized analysis. There are some key terms in steganography. The first one is hidden data or payload, which means the secret information embedded within the image or audio file or video file. And then we have stegomedium, that is the resulting file after embedding the payload into the audio, image, or video file. The example of it is the modified JPG image containing hidden data. Then we have extraction, that is the process of retrieving the hidden payload from the stegomedium, and typically it requires a key or specific knowledge of the embedding method used. And so, just to say in this context, most of the banking systems as well use an algorithm called SHA 256 for their transactions and all. But in steganography, you use separate algorithms for each project, for each use case. In an image, there will be a different algorithm used. In audio, there will be a different algorithm used, and similarly in video. Then we have steganalysis, which means the practice of detecting and analyzing hidden data within a medium. It's the countermeasure to steganography used by cybersecurity professionals to identify covert communications. And then we have metadata analysis. Just moving a little forward because we have a little less time, but we'll surely want to ask if anybody has any questions. Also, I would just request if we could stay a little longer here. If anybody else has any other like things to do, they can proceed with that as our time gets over. But I would request, because I have many things for you. Okay, let's continue. So then now we are moving on to metadata analysis. Yes, Jasmine, you had something to say. You're on mute. Hear it out. Okay, let's
Hi,
proceed.
Arasya. Hi, are you able to share, like, we can just see the forensics ka tab. So are you moving ahead in
Yes.
the tabs?
No,
No, right? Yeah.
I'm not moving ahead on the tabs.
Got
I'm just talking about parts of forensics as a whole.
Sure. Okay. Guys, everyone is understanding, right? If koi bhi
Yeah,
doubts
because
hai,
I
to
was
please
saying,
पूछो.
because after all of this, I will be talking about 3 case studies, and
Yes.
this will have all of the key terms that I'm talking about. So you won't understand an alphabet if you're not understanding this. That's why I'm asking if anybody has a doubt, please speak. Okay, let's start with what is metadata analysis in cybersecurity. It is a part of forensics, and by its definition, it involves collecting, examining, and interpreting metadata, that is, data that describes or provides context about other data to support investigations, threat detection, incident response, or intelligence gathering. Metadata is often called as data about data because it describes attributes like the creation, modification, or access details of files, communication, or systems without revealing the content itself. In cybersecurity, metadata analysis is critical for reconstructing events, identifying malicious activity, attributing attacks, and detecting anomalies. So, what do we say metadata is in a layman's term? For an example, when you click an image through your camera app on your phone, right? So, in modern day smartphone devices, it would store some of the information that I'm going to tell you about. Basically, what quality the image has been clicked in, let's say 4K or 1080 pixels or 720 pixels. The quality is lower that wise and higher in the decreasing order. Then it stores that if there has been any modification in the picture, like we used to add some filters like black and white or tints like vivid and all, right? If there are any filters and all, and just the thing that if you add any filters in your photo during steganography to get things about the photo, nobody will able to get anything because as you use filters, all the data automatically gets erased. That's a very big problem here. but no software till now has been able to solve it. And there is specific reasons behind it as well. And it also stores the exact location. When I say exact, I mean exact. I mean longitudes and latitudes of your current location to the point where you're standing, and also the time where it was clicked. Okay. So what is the key principle behind metadata? It acts as a digital fingerprint, providing contextual clues about data origins, usage, or transmission. By analyzing these traces, cybersecurity professionals are able to uncover pattern, link incidents, and build evidence, even when content is encrypted or hidden. That is through steganography, just like I told you right now. Metadata analysis also involves some challenges. First of all is volume and noise, which means that modern systems generate massive amounts of metadata. Just like I told you, it was very, very small in a photo, but in higher files as you go, the metadata is very high in amount. So it thus makes it hard to identify relevant data that is of use. So that means just sorting through millions and millions of log entries. And then we have encryption. So while metadata is often unencrypted, correlating it with encrypted content such as steganography is challenging. So then we also have tampering. Attackers may try to manipulate metadata such as altering timestamps when it was clicked to evade detection. We have privacy concerns that metadata analysis can reveal sensitive user behavior, raising ethical and legal issues such as GDPR compliance, which is a term used in the context of governments and law, if anybody has been studying law here. And then we have false positives. That means that anomalies in metadata may not always indicate malicious activity. Thus, it requires careful interpretation. Most of the time, it gives full and correct results, but sometimes due to any factor, uh, it can be any tampering or issues with steganography, it may give false positives. And then the last we have is volatility. That means that some metadata, such as network packets or memory, is ephemeral and must be captured quickly. That means that the metadata of some files automatically gets deleted. It does not get stored forever. And so it is required that when you obtain that file, we should extract all we can from it as soon as possible. And then we have, before proceeding to the next topic in forensics, I would like to ask again, any doubts? Please speak. Any doubts? Guys, I want to make this interesting for you. If you're bored, we should stop here. If you're not, it's good if you don't have any questions and you know the knowledge. If you
Yes.
don't,
Sanjana has a question. She has raised the hand.
yes.
Actually, what was last one, please?
What? The last challenge?
Yes.
The last challenge was basically volatility. That means that the data in a file, the metadata in a file may not be accessible forever. Like some files have an algorithm already encrypted, which allows the file to automatically delete the details and memory stored in it after specific amounts of time. Let's say in most movies or spy movies, if you had seen, the system automatically runs a code that deletes itself in some time. Huh? Any other doubt?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else, please? I'm open to all doubts.
Acha, is everyone understanding? Can you all give thumbs up or say yes if you're
I need
understanding?
that because we can only proceed further then.
Okay, Shama is understanding. Durgeshwari is understanding. Madhuri is understanding. Sangeeta is understanding. Okay. Okay. I can see thumbs up from almost everyone. What about Fatima, Mohita, Shamna, Kushagra? Are you guys understanding? If not, please feel free to say. It's completely fine if you're not understanding. We can explain you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. Okay, I can see thumbs ups. Amazing. Durgeshwari, do you have any question? You've raised your hand.
Actually, I have a small request. If we can go little slower because a lot of keywords are there and we are writing also. So a little.
Sure, sure. Okay. We'll go a little slower. I just wanted to complete some topics so that we can move on to case studies. They're very interesting case studies. And I'll just say they're cooking, right? And just we have 2, 3 more topics, and then we can proceed with the case studies afterwards. So I'll start with a new topic under forensics only, that is TDR analysis. So TDR analysis or TDR basically means tower dump record analysis. Tower here is the phone tower that you see, right? The data tower in your area is tower dump, and it records data as you send any message or anything through the network. So TDR analysis is the process of collecting, processing, and analyzing large volumes of telecommunication data. It is known as tower dumps as well, and it is obtained from cellular towers or mobile towers to extract actionable insights only and only for investigations. In a case, if TDR analysis is required, the police force or the party involved in investigation has to take a court order to conduct this, as it may contain private data of the user as well. So a tower dump refers to a comprehensive data set provided by telecommunication companies like Airtel and Jio in our country, detailing all mobile devices that connected to one or more cell towers in a specific geographic area during a defined period of time. This data, primarily metadata, includes information such as phone numbers, device identifiers such as IMEI numbers, which are in today's date also written on your mobile box when it comes, right? There are 2 barcodes and there is a number written below it. That is the IMEI number. And then we have call details, timestamps, and approximate location data as well, but not the content of the communication underwent calls. Like, it is not known as call tapping or call listening. That is different. In cybersecurity, tower dump record analysis is critical tool in digital forensics and threat intelligence, and is used primarily by law enforcement agencies to investigate crimes, track suspects, or reconstruct events that had undergone in a criminal case. Am I going on the correct speed now?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about the key principle or TDR analysis. TDR or tower dump captures metadata from all devices in a tower's coverage area. Let's say we have a tower nearby to us of Airtel. That tower on an average would be able to cover only and only the data in its preceding 3 to 5 kilometers of radius, not more than that. And apart from that, there will be another tower where you'll be automatically connected. Let's say you're calling while you're driving. So the analysis, the record of or the TDR record, right? It will be divided upon multiple cell towers. And so TDR analysis captures metadata from all devices in a tower's coverage area, creating a broad net that includes both suspects and innocent individuals. Analysis filters this data to identify relevant devices or patterns, often correlating it with other evidences, such as digital forensics or OSINT. OSINT is basically like open source intelligence technologies to pinpoint suspects or reconstruct incidents. Such as any other concept here, TDR also has some challenges that we have that are to be surpassed to have a successful investigation. The first one is data volume. TDR can generally include data from thousands or millions of devices. Just for Indian context, it would be around lakhs or crores of devices as well, requiring efficient processing. For example, we have around 1.5 lakh numbers on an average in a high court bandit case. Bandit is basically robbery and all. Then we have privacy concerns that while collecting data on innocent individual raises many issues with GDPR and other laws. But currently in India, there are very few laws that protect the privacy of of an individual, and that's why it's very necessary for our government to create such laws. And recently, China also created many laws for privacy protection of individual citizens. And therefore, it requires correlation with other data. Then we have accuracy limitations. That is, the CSLI accuracy varies varies, which is generally hundreds of meters in urban areas and generally kilometers in rural areas. That is the accuracy the accuracy with which the cell tower is able to capture your data depends upon the type of technology and the power of the cell tower data used. Such as if you use a 5G network, most of the data will be able to capture. But in cases of 3G data, comparatively very less data would be captured because the tower would be also using the same type of technology, which is not advanced that much. And then we have data retention, that is, telecom providers generally may delete data after short periods while complicating investigations. So on an average, if you look at Airtel and Jio, they delete their TDR data after every 10 years to create more space for new ones. And if there aren't any relevant ones present. And then we have tampering risks, that attackers can use burner phones or spoofed identifiers to evade this detection. Burner phone is basically use and throw phone. Use, break, throw. Then the last one is legal admissibility. So to ensure a chain of custody and in compliance with local laws, such as warrant requirements, TDR needs warrants from high courts and even Supreme Court sometimes. Local courts cannot issue warrants for TDR because sometimes in an investigation, TDR analysis can be conducted in multiple cities or even multiple states. Let's say there was a private plane flying a little lower, generally such that the mobile data is able to connect through network cell towers. So there would be several states of data that needed to be correlated, and so a general high court can also not issue the warrant for it because they're only high court of a single state. So in this case, the Supreme Court has to order a warrant for it. And without a warrant, no company, even Airtel or Jio, any company would release the data. Why would they? They don't have anything in it. Then we are moving on to the other topic. Same thing. Any doubts? Anybody, any doubts? This is the last topic we're going to be talking about in forensics. Okay. So then we have CDR analysis and IPDR analysis. So CDR analysis means call detailed record analysis. It is the process of collecting, processing, and interpreting call detailed records, which are metadata logs that are generated by telecommunication systems, documenting details of voice calls, text messages such as SMS, or other telephony activities. CDRs captures information such as calling or called numbers, call duration, timestamps, cell tower IDs, and device identifiers such as IMEI, but not the content of communication such as what was discussed in the call or the text. So when you pay your bill for any telecommunication company such as Airtel, right, they will provide you with a smaller form of a CDR. After the bill contents on the second page, it will include all the things such as who you called, when you called, and how long was the call. And if a call was international, what was the amount of call price that was hiked up. Only 3-4 things, a small form. And it is in cybersecurity, CDR analysis is used to investigate crimes, track suspects, detect anomalies, or even reconstruct events, often in conjunction with TDR analysis. So what is the key principle behind it? These CDRs provide a detailed trail of telephony interactions, serving as digital traces. This goes directly according to Locard's exchange principle, like I had talked about in the starting, which links devices, users, or locations to specific activities, enabling attributing or pattern recognition attribution. Then we have IPDR analysis, where IPDR stands for Internet Protocol Detail Record. So IPDR analysis involves collecting, processing, and interpreting internet-based details. IPDR or Internet Protocol Detail Records, which are IPDR analysis involves collecting, processing, and interpreting Internet Protocol Detail Records, which are metadata logs documenting internet-based activities such as web browsing or searching, VoIP calls, which stands for Voice over Internet Protocol calls. So when you call, when you place a voice call on WhatsApp, right, it uses a protocol known as VoIP to make that possible for you. Nishita, just wait a minute. We'll complete this topic, then we'll take doubts on the whole thing till now. Okay, just one second. And then we have so then VoIP calls, streaming, or data transfers, such as you send a document to your mom or something. Yeah. So IPDRs capture details like the source, destination, IP address. Right. So every device, smart device that you use, that is even a smartwatch or a laptop or a mobile, has an IP address in it. So mostly criminals use things like VPN to conceal it. But even in cases of VPN, it can be revealed as warrants can be issued through courts to companies to provide them with the data for the IP address originally used. Cyril, will come to it out as well. Okay. Yeah. So, IPDRs capture details like IP addresses, port numbers, data volume, timestamps, and device identifiers, typically generated by internet service providers or network operators. In cybersecurity, IPDR analysis helps track online behavior, detect malicious activities such as malware communications, or support forensic investigations. What's the key principle behind it? How do basically IPDRs work? So IPDRs provide metadata about internet interactions that you conducted on your device, offering insights into network activity and enabling investigators to trace cybercrimes or identify threats, even when content is encrypted, because it can be unencrypted easily. IPDRs and TDRs and CDRs don't have very, very high amounts of encryption. because they're generally stored locally, like say in a data server of a cell tower or a normal data server, and they generally have no value because they're very let's say in comparison to fraud cases, there is very less amounts of requests for these things, and they're mainly needed in cases of murder, rape, and financial frauds where both government and an organization are involved. And so, what is basically the difference between CDR and IPDR? So, CDR mainly focuses on traditional telephony, that is, normal voice call and SMS, primarily from mobile or landline network. Whereas IPDR focuses on internet-based activities such as web search, apps, and VoIP, covering broadband as well, mobile data, or even enterprise networks. Okay. Now we can come to doubts. I can see there is a doubt by Sejal in the chat. Um, just 1 second, yeah. We'll take it out as well. Sejal, companies do sell our data. Most of the companies, even Airtel sells our data, Jio sells our data, Vodafone sells our data, Facebook sells our data. That's how you get calls from random people, right? Like take our loan. Even banks sell your data in some cases. That is basically in banks, it is basically credit score or something like that. In Facebook, it is very manipulative. Facebook is very manipulative. It sends your data to marketing agencies through which you can get details about, let's say you were planning to buy a purse. You just talked about it in front of your friend while your phone was in your hand. So Facebook listens to your mic as well. In such cases, it has an algorithm which underlines only key terms and then sends the request to the system that she's looking for a purse. Send purse advertisements. And so just after 10-15 minutes of talking, that conversation is over. You'll find advertisements of buying a purse on Facebook. Facebook also is easily able to predict what are your political inclinations, such as if you support BJP or Congress, for an example. It is also able to predict very accurately what is your gender type, that is in today's date known as LGBTQIA. This is all based upon data that you yourself provide Facebook with. All of this can be turned off easily. Now I'll listen to all the doubts.
Yes, Nishita.
Nishita,
Yeah.
So, Bhaiya, you have mentioned that in call CDR, it is basically that contains a call recording process and all. But does it also contain a voice recording? And how does CDR help in cyber security investigation? Like,
okay, so in CDR, it contains mostly details about your calls and text messages, such as from where did you send it, to who did you send it, who was sitting where, at what time, on what date, and then also from which device did you send, what was the ID of that device, and how, if you called somebody, for what was the duration of your call, who did you call, and the ID of the cell tower that were used. So cell tower ID can be used to predict the location of the cell tower, and in cases it will also provide the nearby locations where the crime may have been conducted. And I will provide you with an example for CDR in the case study we're going to discuss. Yeah, next. Next up.
Durgeshwari, you can go ahead.
Yes.
yeah. Bhaiya, will you give us some tips how we can protect our data?
Protect your data. Yeah, we can do that. You can do that. Okay, so first of all is when you install an app, stop giving it all of your permissions. If if you have already given all of your permissions, right? When you click on that icon of the app, you will be able to see a small thing called as app info. When you go on that app info, there will be an option to select permissions. There you can select by yourself what you want to allow to that app, such as you want to allow your location or not, you want to allow access to your calls or not, or your SMS or not, or your microphone on camera or not, because some apps use location unnecessarily even though they don't need it. Okay, next up please.
Thank you.
Rukmini?
And just for context, I am very very younger than you all. You all are college students, right? I'm very younger than you all, so it's okay if you call me by your name, or if you like prefer bhaiya, so it's no problem. Next up please.
Uh, so I had a doubt, like nowadays there are multinational companies who come to India to set up their business. So they where we offer personal information.
Your
So
voice is
is
getting
it?
cracked.
Oh, hello, am I audible?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. So I had a doubt that many of the multinational companies come to India to set up their businesses, and we also avail the services from outside India. So the personal information that we provide through various apps, is it stored with the companies itself, or the personal data is stored with the government, or like are there any restrictions on the data that we provide to the company?
Okay, so you can restrict on the data that you provide to the company by the method that I just told you, by controlling the permissions that you give the app, right? Like not clicking access all cookies when you visit a strange website. So when you click cookies also contain your data, right? And while seeing about what how governments and organizations can control data, we I would like to say that some countries have very strict privacy laws, which generally don't allow the companies to take their with themselves and proceed further on with their lives. Some countries allow only in some cases to take the data, while allowing in most cases to keep the data with the government. And in this case, we had recently seen when US government banned TikTok. So the main thing was the main agenda on which they talked about is that TikTok is storing their data in China, in Hong Kong, which is a part of nearby China. Whereas it is true, while in some cases the countries directly store the data in the country they are hosting. So if let's say Microsoft comes to India, it will store India's data in India in most cases, or in several cases they might not as well. They might shift their data to some other country. And so in India, in the Indian government had requested, actually they had improvised a law as well. The law has been implemented now, that all the companies, the MNCs, have to store their data in India. And some companies have also need to give access to the government to that data, such as there was a case where Facebook was sued by the Indian government. So Meta was sued by the Indian government that you need to provide us with your data of Facebook and Instagram. But they did not comply with that. If they would have complied with that, the Indian government would be able to see exact alphabetical charts, what is being going on with each person, even if you have a private profile on Instagram. Each chat, each emoji, everything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next, please. Yeah, so governments do use this data to win elections. but it is very, very manipulative. So first of all, if you might see through politics in Facebook, right? That's just like I told you, that Facebook is able to manipulate or even predict your political inclination if you support BJP or you support Congress. And based on that, if there are sponsors on that part, if there are like media agencies or marketing agencies, they might support towards a single agency, right? Single party, single political party. So it might start sponsoring such items to your feed, to your social media feed, to change your political inclination. If you So there's a psychological law that if you of manifesting as well. So if you see something regularly on a basis, it may not be directly influenced but indirectly as well. Let's say an image regarding the party or the or some story regarding the party's agenda. So when you go to place your vote, your mindset will tell you. If your initial political inclination was BJP, but you would have been seeing things about Congress for the past 6 months, your mind will tell you Congress is better because I've seen these things and it relates to Congress, and your mind will tell you vote for Congress. So this is how governments or other organizations can generally use your data to win elections. And so basically, I to the this is KurNiv Foundation's question, right? So basically, I'm currently around 17 years old, about to be 18 now, and I have been doing cybersecurity and artificial intelligence since I was in the 6th grade. I did a lot during COVID, a lot, and in COVID, I also interned with Microsoft and some other foundations who basically, in today's date, control the laws and policies that are used and created for usage of AI, such as ChatGPT and Gemini, the laws that are used and implemented so that we can use it, such as the AI is not allowed to generate NSFW pictures. It is not allowed to talk on terrorism. It is not allowed to talk on extreme political ideas and all. And after that, I have been a part of the Gurugram Cyber Police since about 2 years now, where I've been a part of some cases as well. That's how I learned about cybersecurity. And apart from that, I still have been working in AI. So in AI, you need to learn learn a lot because nowadays it is changing each day. Everything is changing each day.
Where can I ask question, please?
Yes,
Yes, please.
Payal.
Thank you. I have a question. You say, sir,
Payal, your voice is cracking a lot. I'm not able to understand.
hello.
Yes, it's better, much better.
Thank you. As you said before that service provider companies are sharing our data to stranger, isn't this is crime to share
So
data?
yeah, that's your question only, right? So service providers don't directly send your data. Uh, in some cases, it is illegal, but in most cases, it is not also illegal because they can prove that you themselves gave permission to share your data to obtain your data. Like I told you that you can go to your app info, permissions, specific app, select what permission you want to give to the app. If you have allowed that permission, you yourself are contributing that just take my permission, just take my data. I don't want this data. I have no use for it, or even I don't want to care for it. So it is upon you what you want to do to it. Sell to a marketing agency, sell to a government, sell to an organization, your choice. So how do you think Facebook got money? Facebook is free. Facebook runs ads. And third of all, Facebook sells data. That's how Facebook got rich. because Facebook doesn't have any subscription. It doesn't need to be bought on the Play Store to be used. It is free. How does it get money to operate? Simple as that.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Others,
Yeah.
others, please.
Yeah, can I go ahead? Yeah.
Yes,
So,
please.
yes, so actually, I was also having the same question with I last, but I have also one more question. Like, as you said, IPDR uh, can also uh, hack the encrypted chats also. So I have many encrypted app like WhatsApp. So does that also hacked by the IPDR, please?
So first of all, IP header analysis does not allow direct what is written in the charts. It provides all the details about what is written in the charts. As to about how your WhatsApp chats can be hacked and used, is that when your mobile phone is obtained, or your like as taken as a evidence, or your mobile is taken into evidence, your data account will be unencrypted by a software that the law enforcement agencies used, and then your chats will be unlocked. Even if you have deleted ever in your life, if you have used the same Google account to use your backup, until and unless you delete that Google account from the face of the world, that data will be there and somewhere stored in your mobile as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Sanjana.
So, is it true that our phone listen to our daily conversation? Like I heard from this in social media.
Okay, so I had given this example just a few moments before, that how when you're talking with your friend about buying a new purse, and some moments later you get a notification or an advertisement on Facebook, like we have this purse or this company with this much discount, buy it now, the deal ends in 20 minutes. So this is how listening works. So some apps like WhatsApp use your listening activity to allow you to conduct video calls or voice calls with your loved ones. But some apps use it for unnecessary things such as selling your data. And that's why you need to be judicial about what permission you allow every app. And if you think that app does not require that listening permission, you should immediately turn it off. Like if you say a you have an app called Airtel, let's say the Airtel Thanks app. If you use an Airtel SIM, that does not require the camera permission or the mic permission. Why would you give it that permission? And in some cases, the apps automatically don't want to take that permission, but some do. So in that case, you need to be vigilant.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions before we proceed with the next topic? I want to wrap up with the topics a little faster so that we can go on to case studies. Any other questions, please? But I won't hold back on questions. Any questions? Yes, Sanjana ji. आपका question.
Okay, they are saying to move ahead with the thumbs up.
Okay, sure. Then we have a thing called modus. Okay, I'll just proceed with the thing first. Yeah. Just before modus operandi, we have this quote by a very interesting person, Dinesh Bareja. So he is the head of risk compliance in our government, basically the head of intelligence bureau, and in terms of cybersecurity. And one day he said to me that when you talk about cybersecurity with somebody, you should tell this, because this is very very important. That the incident is a very very small part of a cybersecurity incident or a crime. Yet we spend the most time only and only on the incident and around it, while the thing that we're looking for is just right in front of our eyes. That if you think this is a filmy dialogue, it is actually not, because that's reality in 99% of the cases. Okay. Then we have a topic called modus operandi. Now we are on cybercrime investigations. What is the why and what is the motivation behind it for the hacker or the scammer? Yeah. So modus operandi, also referred to as MO in cybersecurity, refers to characteristics, patterns, techniques, behaviors, or procedures used by cyber criminal or threat actor to carry out cyber attacks or cyber crimes. In cybersecurity, an MO is a repeatable set of actions, tools, or tactics that define how an attacker operates, including their preferred targets, attack vectors, tools, and post-attack behaviors. Let's say they performed a scam. So an MO will able to tell that if a scammer X has performed a scam, what will you do just after that? Will he just deposit the money into his account or transfer it to another account or something like that? What are the steps after the crime has been conducted by the scamster or the fraudster or the hacker or the attacker? So it is basically understanding an attacker's MO is critical for attributing attacks, predicting future threats, and developing effective defense systems. So, based upon previous experiences only, when a government or organization is able to develop a better antivirus or software cybersecurity defense to predict what may be in the future and how we can stop it. What's the key principle behind MO? So, an attacker's MO leaves a unique digital footprint. These traces, manifested in metadata, logs, or attacked artifacts, allow cybersecurity professionals to identify patterns, link incidents, and attribute attacks to specific actors or groups. By analyzing an attacker's MO, investigators are able to reconstruct the attack wholly, anticipate similar attacks, and implement countermeasures. If anybody would have seen any spy movie, Bollywood or Hollywood, when there is an investigative officer, even if in the case of CID, right? If anybody has watched the show called CID that used to come on Sony TV, so the
Yeah.
investigative officer would try to trace back what the incident must have looked like, or why did the attacker do the incident this way, what he must have done after that to leave specific traces. That's basically what MO is. Anybody has any doubt on MO? No doubts? We proceed. Okay, so just before proceeding, I would just like to ask Jinaldi, do we have time that we can proceed with the hacking and exploitation? It's not too long, but before the case studies, or we should directly go with the case studies.
I think, Ayasya, we can do one case study for now so that they get some glimpse of it, and then the rest we can cover next time.
Okay, so we should skip hacking and exploitation.
Yeah, I think we can do just one case study so that they can get a brief idea for the closure. And then we can
Okay,
continue for the next time.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Okay, we'll continue with that. Okay, so now we'll just do a small case study. So I'll give you choice then. We have 3 case studies. I'll give you a choice, everybody. Just write in the chat or whatever you want. We have 3 case studies. I'm not going to tell you what's the hook of it or anything. We have a honey trap case. We have letter bomb investigation. And we have the famous Muthoot Bank robbery. Don't go on the name. Do what your heart tells you to. We'll proceed with the case in. What does 3 mean?
The last option that you
Third.
said.
Others also, please. I think so. There are about 23, 22 people in the meeting. I want everybody's option, suggestion, because it may not be as interesting as you think. There are choices for you. It's just how to understand the topics that we've covered here. I want at least about 20 of you all to answer. Otherwise, I'll start with
Okay, others, please reply on chat box with your options. Let's try to decide fast. Yes. Okay, thank you, Sanjana.
I'm telling you, don't go with the name. Everybody's going for the Muthoot bank robbery. I'm telling you, letter bomb investigation is also very interesting. And if you go upon understanding what we just got, like what I just explained, it is the best case study for now, or what I explained. Still, we'll go according to your choices only. We'll just wait 1 more minute, then we do the case study. तो हमने तो मुथूट लिख दिया, मुथूट ही करे फिर, finally मुथूट. Muthut is a smaller case study. Letter bomb was a very detailed one. We'll do it Muthut then. Muthut. Just a second. So we'll start with their 5 steps in this investigation. The Muthut bank robbery. Yeah. So they were not. I cannot tell you some traces and all. Okay, what happened? What was the thing? I will not be telling the whole case study. I'll be telling you 5 steps about what happened during the case investigation. You have to try to stitch it together. The first step, there was a bank robbery in Muthoot Bank. Yeah, there was gold and cash both stolen. What were the leads? What were the leads that the investigation provided? There was an ATM near bank which had a CCTV. One lady employee heard the robber call their friends, and how the robbery was conducted was in 2 phases. This is the Muthoot Bank in Mumbai, where it had an entrance through a tunnel in Mumbai as well, which was constructed pre-independence, and it was just beside the wall of the Muthoot Bank, yeah, underground. And one lady employee at the bank heard one robber call to his friends, telling some details about the robbery. When after the robbery was conducted, the TDR records were checked. So, and when the TDR records were checked, there were specific numbers present there between very specific time frames. They provided some more leads. There were 2 parties which conducted the robbery as a whole, A party and B party. So when the CDR records were checked, they showed reports of three cell towers in the area. Cell tower ID 1, 2, and 3. There were some specific common numbers which presented with them afterwards. There were some leads which presented them with the first location and the last location, that is from where the robber started and where they went, including the robbery. Then there were the IMEI details of the robbers, and afterwards there was the first and last call, if any, made from the same static place. So the first call that was made before the robbery began, and the last call that was made after the robbery conducted was from the same place when the CDR was checked. And so the common numbers were traced, and two numbers were shortlisted, and the old number, and there was one number that was old. So that number was automatically dumped by the telecommunication company, in which this case was Vodafone. It had dumped the records. So the record detail for one phone number was not available totally now, because they had crashed out all other previous numbers. And at the last, phone tapping had started of the new number and the other party. And in the end, after 5 months of listening, that is phone tapping, the perpetrators were caught with a sum total of 3 crore rupees and 16 crore worth of gold. This I'm audible now, right? Yeah, so I just want anybody of you, this was the whole case study. So you have 2-3 minutes. Whatever you want to write, and just try to map the whole case study. We'll talk about it in 2 minutes. Directly 2 minutes. Very simple one. It is all based upon what we had talked about in today's session. We will discuss at 7:40. साक्षी जी, हमने वही 3 अभी डिस्कस किए, उसी के पॉइंट्स बताया मैंने आपको। आपको वही अभी जोड़ने की कोशिश करनी है। $7:40 now. Anybody who was able to come up with what the whole thing basically was. Even if they're able to come up with 5 steps. There are 5 steps in the robbery, even with 3. We'll go with that. So forensics basically means the thinking mentality of somebody who wants to work in cybersecurity as an investigator. As an investigator, you won't directly work on extracting data. That will be that you will get people to do it. So in cybersecurity investigation, you will only and only work on forensics. You will be called as a forensics expert as a whole, who will be working on multiple facets of cybersecurity, whether it is law integration, or it is hacking, or it is cyberbullying or harassment or financial fraud, whatever. All of this will be upon investigation only. I want to hear responses, please. आपको अगर आज के सेशन में से 75%, 70%, 60% भी समझ आया होगा, आप 1-2 स्टेप तो जोड़ पाओगे आराम से. दिस वॉज अ वेरी वेरी सिंपल केस स्टडी. 5 steps, no तामझाम, simple चीज. And all of this was only and only possible because this robbery was done around between 2008 and 2010. उसके आगे स्मार्टफोन बहुत ज़्यादा यूजेज में आ गए थे, बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाता. Yes, Jinaldi, you were talking about something.
Yes. I'm just saying anyone who wants to answer can go ahead. Unmute करके आप बोल सकते हैं because we'll be winding up in the next 2 minutes. Since many of
Yes.
you have session now and other sessions. So we'll be winding up in 2 minutes. So we are just taking answers for now. So please go ahead, guys. जितना आपको समझ में आया, जितना आप कर पाए, उतना आप आंसर देने की कोशिश कीजिए.
We'll hear anybody's responses now, please. And after that, I just have a small thing, a small gift for you. So if anybody here wants to work in the field of cybersecurity, I myself have designed a very, very specific roadmap of how you can proceed with that. And once you have the knowledge, you can go for certification and then try to work into law enforcement agencies if you want, or corporate organizations such as Cisco, Oracle, or Red Hat. Anybody, please. Case study था इसलिए ताकि जो हमने डिस्कस किया था आप उसको जोड़ पाओ. Yes, दुर्गेश्वरी जी बोलिए.
Yes. So, like the case study that just we heard, from that, what I can trace, what we just learned about CDR and TDR. So, the information about TDR, like how the telecommunication companies gave the information about the robbery, and then call recording or details were checked. And that is how maybe the robbery or the case was solved. So this is what I could connect from what we learned. I'm not able to remember what CCTV comes under, like which key term you mentioned, but I forgot the key term.
CCTV is basically only video only, no? Video recording, security video recording.
Yes.
It doesn't come under anything CDR, TDR, it doesn't come under anything like that. It's basically ATM near Muthoot Bank had a CCTV. Because every ATM actually does have it. Yes, who was there? Yes, Kushagar ji, आपका कुछ था.
Yes, I think so. Even why hackers, as you said,
आपका voice break हो रहा है.
do
Your voice is breaking.
for mostly investigation.
Please, can you please
Am I
repeat?
audible, please?
Yes, you're totally
Am I
audible.
audible? Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, please. So I was saying that it can be also the white hackers, as you said in the starting. They are mostly they are in the field of police and investigation to get the records of CDR and IPDR. So I think so it is connected to this case.
Um, White hat hackers would basically work if there was some ransomware or malicious virus. But in this case, this was mostly a part of TDR and IPDR only, because there were calls only. At the time, WhatsApp was not used largely. Second of all, amongst robbers, you would not find WhatsApp. You would find burner phones, or at the time it was 2G or 1G phone, the button dial phone, and that does not have that many internet capabilities as well. So we are not able to discuss that many cybersecurity concepts in that. It's only the basic minimums. So that's not the part. एंड दुर्गेश्वरी जी, स्टेगनोग्राफी एनालिसिस भी नहीं हो सकता था। मैंने आपको उसी का रीजन अभी बता दिया। आपकी जो वो है टेक्नोलॉजी पुरानी, कोई व्हाट्सएप नहीं, एसएमएस भी आप भेजोगे, दैट्स नॉट अंडर स्टेगनोग्राफी, दैट्स सीडीआर एंड टीडीआर। स्टेगनोग्राफी तब हो जाएगा जब आपके पास या इन्वेस्टिगेशन में क्या है, एक फोटो है, वीडियो है या फिर ऑडियो है। इसमें ना फोटो थी, ना वीडियो थी, ना ऑडियो थी, सिर्फ कॉल थी। और सीडीआर टीडीआर में कॉल रिकॉर्ड नहीं होती, कॉल की डिटेल रिकॉर्ड होती है। ठीक है, एनीबडी एल्स कुछ और? क्योंकि दुर्गेश्वरी जी ने ऑलमोस्ट 80% केस बना दिया, 20% रह रहा है सिर्फ फिनिशिंग टच। ट्रैक कैसे किया? कॉल लिसनिंग जब चल रही थी, तो हाउ डिड पुलिस ट्रैक द परपेट्रेटर्स? कैसे ट्रैक किया? कोई आपको शर्माने की, सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, जो भी है बोलो। आपका चाहे गलत हो, मैं आपको बताऊंगा क्या गलत है, आप जाके समझ पाओ। और अच्छा, मेरा काम यहाँ पे सिर्फ आपको एक्सप्लेन करना, आपसे एक्सप्लेन करना है, उससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं। आई एम जस्ट हियर टू टॉक अबाउट इट, डिस्कस अबाउट इट। मैं 30 सेकेंड्स वेट करेगा, फिर मैं पूरा बता दूंगा। हिजल जी, फोन नंबर और लोकेशन से किया था, कैसे किया था? जो मैंने आपको बेसिक्स बताया था आज, उसी पे है। कैसे किया था? फोन नंबर से ही लोकेशन निकाली थी। कैसे? आप सीडीआर से आप लोकेशन नहीं निकाल सकते हो। मैंने स्पेसिफिकली बताया था सीडीआर में क्या है, आईपीडीआर में क्या है। ओसेंट, ओसेंट यू टॉकिंग अबाउट ओसेंट, ओसेंट राइट? OSINT।
Yes,
ओसेंट का
yes.
मतलब
I
होता है,
don't know this.
ओसेंट का मतलब होता है ओपन सोर्स इंटेलिजेंस टेक्नोलॉजीज। मतलब जैसे आपके ऐसे सॉफ्टवेयर वगैरह जो ओपन सोर्स अवेलेबल है दुनिया में, जो कोई भी डाउनलोड करके यूज कर सकता है अपने किसी भी काम के लिए। बट ओसेंट यहाँ पे नहीं आ सकता। अगेन सेम चीज, टेक्नोलॉजी पुरानी, टाइम दूसरा। पुराना टाइम 10 साल पहले, 15 साल पहले ओसेंट कुछ नहीं था। ब्लैकबेरी चलता था, नोकिया चलता था, एप्पल भी बहुत कम चलता था। सिंपली कॉल कॉल नंबर से, फोन नंबर से ही ट्रेस किया, आपके आईपीडीआर को यूज करके ट्रायंगुलेशन किया था, उस नंबर को ट्रेस किया था अगले 5 महीने तक कहाँ कहाँ जा रहे हैं। उससे एक आपका ओवल शेप सा बन के उनको मिल गया, जब उन्होंने प्लॉट किया मैप पे, मुंबई के मैप पे या जहाँ पे प्लॉट किया उन्होंने, उनको मिल गया पूरा का पूरा एक ओवल एरिया, 3 से 4 किलोमीटर का, सिर्फ से सिर्फ। आपको पूरे मुंबई शहर में सिर्फ 3 किलोमीटर मिल जाए, पूरी फोर्स लगा दो उस पर। बहुत बहुत हाई प्रोफाइल केस था, पूरी फोर्स लगा दो उस पर। एक दिन में पूरा का पूरा, एक दिन फोर्स लगाई थी, सिर्फ सिर्फ 1 डे फोर्स। बिकॉज नहीं तो पता चल जाता उनको भी कि पुलिस निकली है हमेशा पकड़ने के लिए हमें, तो हमें भाग लेना चाहिए यहाँ से। एक दिन में पूरी फोर्स लगाई, एंड जो की पॉइंट्स उस ओवल एरिया में से मैप पे निकाले थे, उसमें से 5 पॉइंट्स में से एक पे पकड़े गए आधे मेंबर्स। आधे मेंबर्स को किया आपने इन्वेस्टिगेट, और उनको आपने थोड़ा टॉर्चर वगैरह भी करना चाहा, मतलब बेसिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन वो करा, उन्होंने बोल दिया बाकियों की लोकेशन, दे गिव आउट द लोकेशन, बेसिकली स्निचेस, दे डिड गेट स्टिचेस, जेल में चले गए सारे। एंड सो फॉर द लास्ट थिंग, आप सबके लिए मेरे पास एक है लिंक, मैं आप लोग को सेंड कर रहा हूँ, उसमें एक फोटो है जो पूरा आपका रोड मैप है फॉर साइबर सिक्योरिटी। जस्ट अ सेकेंड, मैं सेंड करता हूँ अभी।
ओके गाइज, आई होप सबको समझ में आया हो। जिसको कोई भी डाउट्स है प्लीज नोट डाउन करके रखिएगा, हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में लेंगे जरूर।
Yeah,
एंड
I love to do another session with you all.
yes, yes,
There we can talk
definitely.
about hacking, and we have two other more ones sorted.
Definitely we'll be doing another session. Today it was quite some session. It was a long session. And thank you so much guys for staying back. Link is there on the chat box, which I
आप लोग
have
लिंक
sent
कॉपी
out
कर लो,
again.
चैट बॉक्स रहेगा नहीं, लिंक कॉपी कर लो।
Yes,
बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल्ड वो है, रोड मैप फ्लो चार्ट के फॉर्म में है। आप उस पर और खुद से रिसर्च कर सकते हो, कोर्स करना चाहते हो कोर्स कर सकते हो, अगर आप कॉलेज में हो, आप कॉलेज प्रोवाइड करते हैं वहाँ से करना चाहते हो वहाँ से कर सकते हो। इफ़ यू वांट टू गो इनटू साइबर सिक्योरिटी एज अ करियर, ये आपके लिए डॉट टू डॉट रोड मैप है। इससे ज़्यादा आपने कहीं का तामझाम नहीं देखना, आपने कहीं सोशल मीडिया पर नहीं देखना, यही है जो है।
okay. Thank you guys for staying back today. We'll try to do one more session soon for this specific topic. And if you have any doubts, please let us know. Please, Fiyaz ma'am, you can tell her the doubts and we can get it passed on. Uh, thank you so much for staying back. I'm so sorry for the longest session ever.
शर्मा जी, आप कॉपी नहीं कर पा रहे तो आप उस पर क्लिक कर दो, आपको उस वेबसाइट पे ले जाएगा, आप वहाँ पे अपने पास रहना, वो वेबसाइट मत हटाना, बाद में
Thank you
कॉपी कर
so
लेना।
much.
Yes,
Thank you
I'll
so
also be
much.
sending the link to Freya's ma'am on group so she can share it across with all of you. Okay?
Actually, I've already copied the link.
Oh,
So
amazing.
I'll put it on our WhatsApp chat because I've already copied the link. Gina, we lost a lot of kids today because the session
Yes.
ran over.
Yes.
So
I'm
I
really
would
sorry
say
for that.
almost half the class we lost. So we'll have to do some sort of summary or review because they
Definitely.
have tuition. See, we are 6 to 7, and then they at 7:15 I've negotiated, and you see the chat going back and forth. Their tuition teacher waits for them till 7:15. So they leave right at 7 to get to their tuitions by 7:15. So we might need to do a revision. And also, I think what I love that was happening just now is the case studies, making them think laterally and making that lateral connect happen, which is where I need the help from TFG. So if we can continue with the case studies, making them think through, analyze things, that will be phenomenally beneficial.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely we'll look
Super.
into this.
Thank you
Prayas
so
ma'am,
much. But
just to say that to your point, I agree as well. I have many case studies. Just to shortlist is the point, what is appropriate and all. And I have some other shortlisted, and I would love to do another session. I am really sorry
fantastic. So
for
I'll let you take that forward with Gmail and the
yes,
TFG
yes,
team. I'm going to
yes,
let my kids go because it's almost 2
yes,
Sure,
hours.
yes,
So
yes,
sure.
they
yes,
have
Yes.
so
yes,
many
yes.
other
I'm
things
just really sorry
on.
about it
Oh,
taking so
no,
long.
please don't apologize. We're learning, we're growing, and we're superbly thankful for that, genuinely. Just if going forward, we keep the 6 to 7 timeline,
Yes,
and
yes,
we can do
totally.
multiple classes. We're not going anywhere. As long as you keep coming to us, we're here, right? So we can do multiple classes, but your kids, y'all can go to wherever y'all need to go or whatever y'all need to do. Okay, we love you. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Pronounce your name for me, sweetheart.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much, yes, yeah. I was listening And I was learning so much from you. So I guess
Thank you.
17 or 50, it doesn't matter, right? We're all learning at some stage. So
Yeah.
I was writing down questions on the side as you were teaching. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow. Okay. See you all tomorrow. Bye, Gina. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much. Thank
much.
you,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.